Welcome to my kitchen. Put some lemon curd on top along with some berries, and this is the perfect summer treat.
I am Augusta Heat, here to melt your frosting.
No, you won't. It's stabilized with frosting. So, preheat your oven to 375 and let's get baking. So start by sifting together the dry ingredients. That's 1 cup of cake flour and 1 1/4 cups of powdered sugar. What sifting does is it gets out all the lumps and it adds air.
Air is what makes this cake rise.
When air is heated, it rises and expands the cake. There's no baking soda, no baking powder, just a lot of hot air. And we're about to whip some more air into it in a minute. There, and set it aside. And then you want to take 1 2/3 cups of egg whites, which is about 12 eggs. And I always separate them outside the bowl. You can't get any egg yolk in your egg whites at all, or it won't whip up into this wonderful meringue, which is the next step. It took 13 egg whites for mine. Add 1 1/2 teaspoons of cream of tartar and 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. And whisk those till they're nice and foamy. And make sure your bowl and utensils are super clean. Not a teeny tiny anything can be in them, or they won't whip up into this ooey gooey lovely meringue. You'll get egg white soup. Ah! Boop! Then add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at that. So now add in 1 1/4 cups of sugar real slowly. And I use a tablespoon to make me add it slowly. That way the sugar has a chance to dissolve. And you beat it to stiff peaks. Isn't that cool? Now with our stiff peak meringue, fold in the dry ingredients that we sifted earlier. You want to fold in 1/3 at a time, because we don't want to deflate all that air in everything. And I use a whisk. That helps me fold it in without deflating, and it's a little bit more efficient. Some people use a spatula, but you just take it, go down and bring it up. You'll deflate it a little bit, because that's just the nature of the beast. And finally the last third, and just add 1/3. And bring it from the bottom to the top. So, the pan you'll need is called a tube pan. This one's mine, and it's got a silicone non-stick. Don't grease it or anything, because the meringue here needs the dry edges to crawl up as the air expands in the oven. And you'll need to turn it over upside down to cool it. This is my grandmom's. Hers has feet, so that when you turn it upside down, you can just put it right on the counter. And just pour and dollop it right on in. And so we don't have any huge bubbles, I'm going to take a skewer, run it around there. It'll help even it out too. You'll want to remove the middle rack so your cake goes in the middle of the oven. And then bake for 30 to 35 minutes, or until a skewer comes out clean. Look, I'm walking on eggshells. Don't throw them away. They're great for the garden. And don't throw away these egg yolks. You can make my deep dish coconut custard tart, Chicago style. All right, and while your cake is cooling, let's move on to the lemon curd. And if you want to make any other flavor curd, I'll leave a link to that video I made a little while ago. So you just take the zest of 4 lemons and make sure you don't go down to the white part. Just stay in the yellow, because the white part's bitter. Then to 3 egg yolks that you saved from earlier, add 3 whole eggs and whisk those together. Now add to your favorite saucepan the zest of your lemons, 5 ounces of lemon juice, 2/3 cup of butter and 2/3 cup sugar. And once everything is dissolved, slowly pour it into your egg mixture. What we're doing is we're bringing up the temperature of the eggs very gradually. Without making scrambled eggs. And then pour it back into your pan. You want to bring it up to 160 degrees, between 160 and 170 degrees. That's gonna pasteurize the eggs and make it safer to eat. There we go, and it's nice and thick. So take it and pass it through a fine mesh sieve. This is gonna catch any scrambled eggs we might have made and make for a nice, smooth, and silky lemon curd. Yep, we made some scrambled eggs. And don't forget the bottom. And then you wanna cover it with cling wrap so a skin doesn't form. And now chill it in the refrigerator. Now once it's cooled, and takes about an hour, you just take a knife and run it around the edges. Run it around the edges very gently to help it release from the pan. And you want to go around the bottom as well. And we'll set this aside and get working on the frosting. So for the stabilized whipped cream frosting, that starts with 4 cups of chilled heavy whipping cream. And then take 4 tablespoons of instant vanilla pudding. And get that combining really quickly because the instant pudding is going to firm up and you don't want any lumps. And then add 2/3 cup of powdered sugar. Keep that going. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And whisk that to stiff peaks. There you go. That's stiff peaks. And now we just put it all together. And contrary to what you read on the internet, angel food cake was not invented in 1894 in St. Louis. It's in my 1890 butter egg pattern cookbook. Yeah, they made cookbooks back then. And it's the same way and the same recipe. How cool is that? 1890, guys. Here, let me read you something really cool out of it. The turnpike road to people's hearts, I find, lies through their mouths, or I mistake mankind. Dr. Wolcott, whoever that was. And voila, a masterpiece, a heavenly angel food cake, topped with stabilized whipped cream frosting to fend off that Augusta heat, and topped with a delicious lemon curd and berries. Blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, anything your heart desires. If you had a fun time today, give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to boop that bell.